In animation, a dozen concentric bands in various colors and textures swirl behind the words Ability Summit.
Hello, I'm Sarah Bird, Chief Product Officer for Responsible AI at Microsoft. In the past 30 years, the world has seen three major platform shifts, from the client-server era to the internet to mobile and cloud. And today, we're in the midst of a fourth, AI.
Sarah stands in front of the bookcase.
Required business leaders and creators to think differently. But there's one major difference with today's platform shift to AI, and that's the pace of change. Last year, generative AI emerged as a key driver for business outcomes across every industry, seeing rapid adoption and innovation. Research from IDC shows that for every dollar a company invests in generative AI, the ROI is now 3.7 times that investment across industries and across regions. This platform shift is already having an incredible impact on our world, and companies and industries are developing new use cases every day. Amidst all this energy and innovation, it's never been more important to prioritize trust. At Microsoft, we remain focused on our long-standing commitment to build and deploy AI responsibly. We are reminded every day that people, no matter what part of the world they come from or their area of expertise, do not use technology they do not trust. And we believe trustworthy AI is only possible when we combine our commitments, such as our Secure Future initiative, AI principles, and commitment to accessibility, with our product capabilities to help customers actually build and use AI products with confidence. Let's make this real with an example. A day in the life of Taylor, a neurodivergent person. Here are the Microsoft accessibility features he uses. In the morning, Taylor uses Windows Hello for a smooth login experience to his Windows 11 PC. He has customized his desktop with Focus Assist and color filters to reduce distraction and adjust visual experiences to his preference. In the afternoon, Taylor summarizes all of the chats he's been mentioned in during the past 24 hours in Teams. He then writes an email in Outlook and gets feedback and suggestions on the tone from Coaching by Copilot. Later, Taylor leverages Immersive Reader in Word to adjust text size, spacing, font, and background, making reading more comfortable. He also uses Read Aloud to assist with reading comprehension. These tools from Microsoft support Taylor in managing sensory input and maintaining focus, enhancing his productivity and comfort. Notice how many of these tools use AI, such as for face recognition, summarization, or text-to-speech. Each AI feature was developed in alignment with our AI principles. That's what's so exciting about AI, its ability to augment human potential by enabling people to focus on the most important work. Beyond helping developers code faster, GitHub Copilot is reducing the cognitive load on developers, giving back time for deeper, more satisfying work. Another exciting aspect of the platform shift to AI? The future is multimodal. Generative AI models like OpenAI's O1 model are revolutionizing accessibility solutions by integrating various data inputs like text, images, and audio to enable richer, more context-aware interactions.
Person using a VR headset.
These models can support a wide range of accessibility applications, including AAC, visual assistance, mobility assistance, and personalized accessibility solutions. It's also getting easier for developers of different skill levels to build powerful multimodal applications without having to build complex models from scratch. Instead, they can get started quickly with general-purpose models from developers like Microsoft, OpenAI, Meta, and Hugging Face. Now, let's take a look at how we approach development of AI capabilities like Copilot within Microsoft, and how we empower you to do the same in Azure AI Foundry. These are the essential development steps that we are using in our own engineering teams at Microsoft: map, measure, manage, and govern. Now, this process makes it look linear, but in reality, like any software development process, it's iterative and filled with experimentation. Note this governance layer along the top. At Microsoft, these are AI principles and governance processes that define our product requirements and serve as our North Star.
Governed is above
As soon
map,
as we
measure,
have
and
a
manage.
business use case requiring AI, we work to identify the potential risk in the map phase, so we know what we need to look out for, using processes like red teaming and tools like AI risk assessments. We then also want to measure how prevalent the risks are in our AI model or system, so we know where to focus our attention. We then need to manage those risks, which means during development using mitigation strategies you might have heard of, such as prompt engineering, grounding, and content filters. We then look at strategies for managing risk in production, including setting up robust monitoring so we can continuously improve our applications and quickly respond to issues or customer feedback. So what types of risks do we see most often in generative AI systems? The first category of risk is overall quality and performance of the application. We want to ensure that the application is not producing errors or what people often call hallucinating, which would be like adding additional incorrect information or just sort of making up information. We also need to make sure our system is robust to adversarial attacks. This could be a jailbreak where a user tries to manipulate or confuse the system to get it to produce something that it's not supposed to. Or new types of attacks where an attacker embeds instructions hidden in data like emails or documents. We also look at traditional harmful content, whether that's harmful natural language content, for example, or harmful images or code that contains security vulnerabilities. Then, one of the newer areas that's emerging is that these models can seem very human-like when interacting with end users. When is it okay for a system to be conversing and acting like a human? And when is that going to be misleading, inappropriate, or harmful? You need to be looking across all of these different dimensions, which may sound like a lot, but we've found that the same technological approach actually works for each of these different types of attacks. That technology approach is multi-layered, also called a defense in depth approach. To build any AI system safely, you need to design it with the appropriate mitigation layers built in by default. At Microsoft, we use a 4-layer mitigation plan. First, the model has built-in safety measures. However, since models can make mistakes, we also implement a robust safety system around the model. We then customize the application with a system message and grounding data. This is where prompt engineering comes in. Finally, we design the user experience to enable effective collaboration with AI. It's also crucial to continuously evaluate your application, both before and after deployment, to ensure ongoing safety and effectiveness. One example of a tool that Microsoft uses in the safety system layer is Azure AI Content Safety. Developers can also use this tool when building their own applications, whether their models generate text or images. Azure AI Content Safety will inspect the inputs and outputs to generative AI models for risky or unwanted behaviors. For example, we provide a content filter to catch cases where a model is outputting protected material that risks copyright infringement. Soon, Microsoft will enable developers to detect and block the outputs of protected characters and images to help prevent unintended use. Another way we're supporting Trustworthy AI is at the user experience level with content credentials. When you use Microsoft Designer or Azure OpenAI's DALL-E model to create images, we'll generate metadata that helps drive transparency with anyone interacting with that content. These content credentials will tell them key information about an image, like the fact that it was AI generated, how it was generated, and when. Now, let's jump into Azure AI Foundry to take a closer look at some of the tools you can use to build trustworthy AI applications. So
She stands
first,
at a
let's
laptop.
look at content safety, which is the safety system we use to defend against harmful inputs and outputs coming into the AI system. I mentioned
tab
that the
in
feature
Azure
is
AI
multimodal.
Foundry.
And so we have developed new multimodal content filters that look specifically at the combination of image plus text, recognizing that this image could be safe and the text could be safe, but you still could have a harmful content. And so, for example, I'm not going to show you this image because none of
It's
us want to
blurred
look
out.
at harmful content here, but I have a hateful meme that has harmful text and harmful images. I can then configure where I want my system to filter. Do I want to start at medium severity violent content, or do I want to be as safe as possible and filter at low severity content? And so if I run the test, we can see what the safety system does. So here, it detected that this content would be blocked by the system because it's violent content at the medium level, and I've set my threshold to low, so I definitely want to filter this. And so we've built in a combination of these filters to make the AI system safe. Let's look at another one. I mentioned earlier jailbreaks in our system, and so we've developed Prompt Shield that looks for these attacks coming through the user experience or through the documents. And so I'm going to put an example in here where both the user is trying to attack the system and there's also an attack hidden in the document. And if I run the test, you can see that Azure AI Content Safety was able to detect both of these, that there is an attack in the user prompt and in the document. At Microsoft, we're committed to delivering trustworthy AI experiences, whether you're building a Copilot, using a Copilot, or searching the web. Thank you for your time and have a great Ability Summit.
In animation, colorful, undulating bands frame the words, "Thank you for participating, and there's more to explore." Discover other resources in the top navigation bar.